Hello, welcome to Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity and practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, now welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. I know this episode we're gonna talk about the two the primary my primary school days and university days. Looking back at it now, I'm saying it as a person with a bachelor's degree so far. Is that those two time period are the most priceless days, bro. Like the primary school days and the university days. The high school days are pretty priceless as well, no, but nothing, you know, where I'm at in life now, um, those primary school days and the university days really, really kind of molded me. And I'm looking at it now because I'm going through this phase. What happened? Why I say I those days were priceless was that the time when I grew up in primary school, the lesson I learned there really truly were are valuable to me now. It's grateful that I learned was going to primary school at that period. During this time of massive confusion and all those stuff. It's good that I'm grateful for the foundational learning that I had at primary school and what happened. The time, those time there when I was a kid going to that school, all the experience that I had, bro, is really truly like nostalgic. Like really, like some days I look back on those and be like, even though there was a lot of bad and stuff like that, but look, reminiscing at it, no, going through those days is really some hard trials, up and down, up and down. But looking back at it now, those days were really, really priceless. And I say that, if if you're if your parents carrying a kid to primary school, those days are going to be some of the best days, bro. Because it's like the first time you actually leaving the house and interacting with people outside, and it will be very weird at first, but over time, you're just going to start relate. You're going to just start relate. I think what else made the parent school days really precious is that it's the ease of which you just make friends. The ease of which, because all of us is just coming together, and all of a sudden, the simplest of things makes us the closest of friends. The simplest of things, and we just play. Every time we have break time and then we have lunch time and then just play, have fun, and then the simplest I think can make us all turn enemies. It's like it's really, 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 really like a whole experience. Bro. It really, there's nothing like it. I can tell you all about it, but there's nothing like the primary school days. It's just so. It's like a whole world. It's like a it's like a small world, but it's like a whole world of lessons. It's a whole world of lessons you are learning in those 6 years. Like a whole world of lessons that you won't really understand the real value of learning those lessons until you're older and you realize that damn bro, those lessons were priceless. Those lessons were priceless, and the thing what makes primary school also priceless is that the way you handle the primary school experience really set you up for high school. Like it's my high school days, were pretty good. I always made some good solid friends there. But overall, what happened in high school was like it was like it was really a popularity contest. Like that, once you weren't cool, it really was a really try really bad time. Really bad time. And then the teachers weren't making it easier either. It's like cause they're there to just teach you and you're there to learn. So it's like the high school days. No, you may get some good friends, you may get to do some good stuff, like for example, play basketball for me and stuff like that. But it's really just a popularity content. It's similar, really similar to like the movies, the series that you watch. You see, it's like a popular contest, and know that I'm reminiscing back as a person with a bachelor's now. It's it's really the fun, the high school experience can really be fun, but when you're really fighting, it's like a real fight. It's like a fight, whole fight when you're in high school. It's really up and down, and and I found the group that fit me, and it was really good. Thanks for finding them. I was really grateful. I had as fun and a high school experience as I could, and what didn't make the high school experience wasn't not fully priceless was that even though I found my group, I had the popular people that just when they feel like that's how it's come and try to mess up my day. So that was really what makes the high school experience not it. Like if you're the popular person, just stay in your lane and be the popular person, bro. I'm just here doing my thing, trying to pass through. And it was really sad. It was a not really not process. I'm grateful for the people that I learned there, have I made friends with there. And the funny thing is now I'm reaching the point where those, most people that usually trouble me and all those stuff start to respect me now. And it's really weird. It's really a weird experience to be like, yo, you guys really did me dirty and then now you're looking up to me. So that's basically an next lesson for the high school. It's like the table, it, you never know. The tables can turn. The tables will can turn. It's like that's that's so weird about the high school experience. Once you leave high school, you're either going to university or you're basically going to the world of work. And then 5 years from then, you don't know where you're going to turn up. You don't know where you're going. So when they come back, all of a sudden, those same people that were the popular person, all of a sudden they're looking up to you now because you progress somewhere. It's like that's the weird thing about the high school experience. But the university part now, why I said it's the most priceless for me is that it's like it's like for me it's like you're entering, you're getting a taste of the world. You're getting that because primary school, high school, you're dealing with people of the same that come from the same country, come from different backgrounds and different lifestyles. We're relative from the same country. When I reach the university level now, you're meeting a lot of people from different cultures. And what happened is that when I reach that stage, it's regardless of what, it's academics that really brought you there mostly. Unless you're basically a scholarship student that came there for sports or something like that. But it's mostly academics that brought you there. So people you're dealing with are relatively smart. And then not only that, they they're really accepting. They're really accepting because most of the stuff that you dealt with in high school, most of them kind of really dealt with it also. So when you reach that level, you're basically somewhat dealing with like-minded persons. When you're basically choosing your course and degree, you're really dealing with people who are trying to do the same thing that you're doing. So it's like it's re it's really It's like you're finding your group. It's like primary school all over again, but it's more mature. You're an adult now, and you're on your own. You're on your own, and you basically get to do see all the stuff that you would see and dream about when you were younger. I said, "Oh, wish I could do that." Yeah, you have the chance to actually do it in university, and be like, "There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it." And what happened is that when you leave the university, those days, you will look back at it. You will look back at it and be like, wow, sometimes I really wish I could go back to those days. But now I reached that level where it's a if, it's a sometimes for me. It's sometimes for me. The bad thing is we are coming out of a pandemic. So the things that I kind of miss about my university days that I could enjoy is not really back yet for the university. It's like the partying and such like that. It's not really there. And so that's it. The university days is is really where you get to be yourself. You have the chance. So primary school days, you're yourself. You're yourself, but you're a kid learning the ropes and all those stuff. High school days, you're not really yourself because you're trying to just making it through, and you're either the popular person that's basically good enough, or you're basically the nerd that people picks on. It's really that, right? And then if you're the nerd, you're just trying to not get picked on. Say you're not your free self. You're not your free self. You're just you're like, oh my gosh, hope I don't really get picked on today. So that's basically it with high school. But university, regardless if you're a nerd or what, people will accept you and you can be your true self. If you love watching anime, there's a group of people there that love anime that maybe love anime more than you and such like that. So that's that's how the university you can find a group and can be your true self, and then not only become your true self, you can explore things that you never know about yourself. You can do things that you never thought you would do, and what happened is that doing those stuff, it coming out of a comfort zone. At that time, it made us feel like nothing, but when you leave university and start reminiscing on those days, some of those things that you actually did and take out went out there and comfort and realized, okay, it's a good thing that I actually did that because it's really those lessons that I learned doing that. It's really valuable to what I'm doing now in the real world. So that's basically what makes the university experience so priceless. You get to find your group, and those group could be your lifelong friends or such like that. And you get to be your true self. You get to find out what an idea of what your true self be is, and you get to find people that maybe are alike. And it's like the most fun you will ever have. One of the most fun you ever have when I reach the university. But make sure you have to remember that you're going there to get a degree also. But it's really one of the best times. And I'm saying this because most people won't decide to go to university because you know it's one of those things that I'm still trying to do is that when I leave university, you're spending million of dollars to get basically a degree. Now what I'm now realizing is that the degree that you're actually pursuing is not really established. The people that did it before you never really came out and really push the push the thing forward. They maybe just got it, be happy, and then they just join a company or such like that. So what happens is that, for example, my degree, the career is really established. The career just that I know a good amount of people that may have biochemistry degree, but they don't really call themselves a biochemist. Or maybe no, maybe they do, but if you really look at what they do, it's not really something that's really pushing the the field forward. It's just something to do to get by, which I can't really wrong them because that's basically what you have to do. You have to really survive. But that's the downside of the university part of it. So I guess my tip is that when you're going to university, the degree that you choose, you have to come out with the mentality that okay, the, there's nothing there. Or even if something is there, you're basically you're not working to fulfill your purpose. So what I can just tell you is that when you go in there, you choose the degree that you want to do, but look for the vision that you want your idea your ideally see that career could be. And when you come out, know that that's the vision you're working towards. So if you get a job, that job will just assist you to bring that vision alive. I guess that's the thing that I would want to know when I went to university. You know, when I went to university and came out, you know, I was trying to find a way. So I guess that's the thing that I wish someone would tell me that okay, yo, if the degree that you choose, you're either coming out to join a job, and that job may not be fulfilling, just something that gives you pay and something like that. Or you're coming out where your field is is really honest unestablished. So what you have to do is when you choose a degree, you have to think forward and say, okay, maybe this degree there's not really much job for it, but I see the vision of what I could do with the degree and what I could do. So all I have to do now is just learn the stuff, and then when come out, that vision, going to start working on it. So when you come out now, it's not like you're coming out and you're lost and demotivated like I was. You're coming out motivated with a vision with yourself. Say, yes, I know what I want for my life. And even though I'm coming out of this degree in an unemployed world with a lot of setbacks, I know why I'm doing this. I know where I'm going. So you don't really start off being depressed like I was. You start off more motivated and more thrilled about getting things done. You're even though so when people are talking down on your degree and stuff like that, you are more passionate to say, yeah, you don't see the vision yet, but I see it. I see it, and hopefully by the grace of God, I'll get it done, and then you can see it. So that's basically the attitude I wish someone would tell me back then about how to approach my degree. you know, so I guess if you're a person that hasn't gotten a degree yet, this really, really kind of reframe your mindset, reframe mindset podcast, or reframe your mindset as to how to actually proceed with how to look at life after university. hmm yeah, that's basically it for this episode, bro. There's not, and what happens is that this podcast really gives you a, a idea of my primary school experience, my high school experience, and my university experience. You will understand as to why those days were priceless. So if you want to listen as well, you know, so it's there to see why I say those days were priceless. Even though there was a lot of trials, looking back at it, those 2 points are where I learned the most lessons, and why I didn't learn the most lessons at high school. High school, it was more individual. My friend that it's more individual. Most of the stuff that I learned there is mostly me have to internalize and learn it myself. In primary school and at university, you know, I learned a lot of stuff due to a lot of people, and that helped me to reach somewhere in life. Yeah, that's basically for this episode, and thanks for listening. And look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Old age, as a good topic since I'm reaching that I'm very close to my day of birth, and I'm reaching that checkpoint now where all those stuff that the older people usually tell me start to become relevant, and you know this topic is going to talk about old age, old age because growing up I've seen a lot of old people, older people, and there are a lot of variety to choose from. So and the next thing is it's a privilege to reach old, to be old, you know, given the world that we in now. It's a privilege to reach, for example, my grandmother's age or something like that. It's a privilege